Welcome to another Proficiency esl-lounge reading lesson video. Today we will be reading Digital Nomadism and the New Colonialism. Let's begin with some vocabulary. Arbitrage, taking advantage of price differences between markets. Gentrification, the process of changing a working class area to make it more middle class. Extractive mobility, movement that takes value without giving back to local communities. Asymmetrical, not identical on both sides, unequal or unbalanced. To perpetuate, to make something continue indefinitely. Hierarchies, systems of ranking people or things according to status. Calibrated, carefully adjusted to a particular standard or level. Disproportionately, to a degree that is too large or small in comparison. Carbon footprint, the amount of carbon dioxide released by someone's activities. Structural inequalities, unfairness built into social and economic systems. Great, now you know the keywords, let's read the story. Social media portrays digital nomadism as liberation. Professionals conducting video calls from Bangkok cafes, launching ventures beside Guatemalan volcanoes, coding applications, whilst exploring Moroccan souks. This lifestyle has captivated the remote work generation, promising professional success without geographical constraints. Yet beneath this aspirational narrative lurks a troubling reality: contemporary patterns of exploitation disguised as progressive global citizenship. Conservative estimates indicate over 50 million digital nomads worldwide, predominantly Western professionals earning salaries calibrated to expensive home markets, whilst residing where purchasing power increases dramatically. A developer earning £70,000 annually can live luxuriously in Prague or Porto, accessing amenities unaffordable in London or New York. This economic arbitrage forms nomadism's foundation. End of page 1. Let's continue. Such disparities create severe local distortions. Popular destinations like Lisbon, Mexico City, and Medellin experience rapid gentrification as high-earning foreigners inflate housing markets. Long-term residents face displacement from ancestral neighborhoods, as landlords prioritize short-term rentals commanding premium rates from nomads. Professionals fleeing expensive home cities due to tech-driven gentrification now trigger identical displacement patterns in adopted temporary homes. Cultural isolation compounds economic disruption. Nomads typically cluster in specific areas, creating parallel societies with minimal local engagement. They patronize co-working spaces, mimicking Silicon Valley aesthetics, frequent restaurants serving international cuisine, and socialize predominantly with fellow nomads. This self-segregation exemplifies extractive mobility, exploiting favorable economic conditions whilst contributing minimally beyond inflating living costs. End of page 2. Let's continue. Language barriers intensify this separation. Unlike traditional expatriates making long-term commitments, nomads' transitory presence discourages language acquisition. Many destinations develop dual economies: local language markets serving residents, English-speaking sectors catering to foreigners. This linguistic segregation reinforces economic inequality, enabling nomad-serving businesses to charge premium prices, whilst local establishments struggle competitively. Visa regimes enabling nomadism expose structural inequalities. Wealthy nation citizens enjoy unprecedented mobility, with countries competing to attract high-earning remote workers through specialized programs. Conversely, residents of nomad destinations face increasingly restrictive travel barriers. Mexican entrepreneurs cannot easily establish Berlin businesses, nor Colombian developers casually relocate to Amsterdam. This asymmetrical mobility perpetuates global hierarchies, privileging Western passports whilst constraining global South movement. End of page 3. Let's continue. Housing market impacts prove particularly damaging. In Lisbon, nomad demand combined with investment visa programs renders homeownership impossible for young Portuguese. Similar patterns emerge across popular destinations. Stagnant local wages amid soaring accommodation costs calibrated to foreign purchasing power. This creates economic colonialism where locals become service providers in their own cities, unable to afford lifestyles their labor enables for visitors. Environmental consequences are equally problematic. Nomadism generates enormous carbon footprints through constant flights, temporary accommodations, and mobility-optimized consumption patterns. Typical nomad emissions exceed settled individuals by 300 to 400% annually. Climate impacts fall disproportionately on global south destinations that historically contributed least to emissions yet bear nomadism's environmental costs. End of page 4. Let's continue. Some advocates claim nomad spending benefits local economies through job creation and foreign currency. However, research indicates uneven distribution. Platform operators and property hosts profit, whilst broader communities see minimal trickle-down effects. Nomad expenditure typically flows to international platforms rather than locally owned enterprises. Digital nomadism represents economic rather than political colonialism, enabling privileged individuals to extract value from global inequalities whilst avoiding citizenship responsibilities or long-term commitments. The COVID-19 pandemic temporarily exposed this privilege when border closures and evacuation flights revealed nomads' dependence on Western passport power. Yet post-pandemic nomadism has intensified, suggesting structural inequalities remain unexamined by practitioners who mistake mobility for liberation, whilst perpetuating exploitation through lifestyle choices. Okay, time for a few questions to check your understanding. Question 1. What does the author argue about the popular social media portrayal of digital nomadism? A. It accurately reflects the lifestyle's benefits for both nomads and host countries. B. It is a realistic depiction of a lifestyle that is accessible to everyone. C. It romanticizes a lifestyle whose negative consequences are largely ignored. D. It overemphasizes the professional challenges while ignoring the personal freedoms. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is C. The text contrasts the aspirational narrative of liberation with the troubling reality of exploitation disguised as progressive global citizenship. Question 2. The concept of extractive mobility describes nomads who A. Physically relocate local businesses to serve international markets. B. Operate within a social bubble, making little effort at local integration. C. Deliberately avoid paying local taxes whilst benefiting from public infrastructure and services. D. Remove physical resources and cultural artifacts from destination countries. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is B. The text explains that nomads cluster in specific areas with minimal local engagement, creating parallel societies. Question 3. According to the text, nomadism's visa regimes demonstrate A. An imbalanced system of global access that benefits citizens of wealthier nations. B. Necessary security measures protecting destination countries from exploitation. C. Equal global mobility opportunities regardless of passport nationality. D. Temporary employment solutions for developing nation unemployment. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is A. The text describes an asymmetrical mobility that privileges Western passports while constraining global South movement. Question 4. The author characterizes digital nomadism as economic colonialism because it A. Systematically suppresses local languages and cultural traditions. B. Involves political control over local government institutions. C. Allows for the enjoyment of a host country's benefits without reciprocal contribution. D. Requires military presence to maintain nomad community security. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is C. The text defines this as enabling individuals to extract value whilst avoiding citizenship responsibilities or long-term commitments. Question 5. The environmental impact of nomadism disproportionately affects A. Technology platforms facilitating remote work and digital connectivity. B. The very regions that are least responsible for the underlying climate crisis. C. International airlines and transportation companies serving nomad routes. D. Developed countries with established remote work infrastructure. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is B. The text states that the climate impacts fall disproportionately on Global South destinations that historically contributed least to emissions. Question 6. The author's perspective on digital nomadism can best be described as A. Neutrally analytical, weighing both positive and negative consequences equally. B. Enthusiastically supportive of its contributions to global economic development. C. Cautiously optimistic about its potential for cross-cultural understanding. D. Critically concerned about exploitative structural dynamics disguised as liberation. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is D. The author consistently uses critical language, such as troubling reality, exploitation, and perpetuating exploitation to describe the phenomenon. Let's quickly summarize the lesson. On this screen you can review the main points of the text and the key vocabulary. Finally, here are a few discussion questions. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching this ESL Lounge video. Don't forget to subscribe for more lessons, and we'll see you in the next one.